Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today I'm in the Fuso, the 6th Japanese battleship. I'm on the map New Dawn in a standard battle, and it's a tier 6 battle, which is pretty nice. Oh, I really love my Fuso. Then again, I have kept so far every battleship starting tier 5 in the Japanese line. The range is amazing. The Fuso is not as good a brawler as US counterpart, but I do really love have an enormous range. And the firepower is quite impressive. Now let's take a look at the battle itself. At this map, basically you can stay north and go more towards the west, south here. Going directly through the middle unless your destroyer is probably not a wise decision, because you will get shot from two sides and probably have a rather miserable day. Now, I decided to stay north here. I was the battleship that spawned the farthest north, so it seemed like a good idea. We do have destroyers scouting this area. We also have destroyers scouting here down the south. So pretty decent start. I have quite a lot of cruiser support, so if the planes decide to come for me, I should be reasonably well defended. And let's see what my first shots can do. Turns out not that much. But hey, I got 4 hits. That's something. It would seem that the majority of my team is here with me in the north. It's not that big a problem, because when you look at our spawn, unless we go to this corner here, if we stay around here, we are always in a reasonable distance to defend if they really push through here. And so far the enemies are taking it rather conservatively. They are going very close to the zone wall here to the north, and they seem to go a long way around here in the south. So there is no rush. And here I'm taking it a bit slow. I mean, we have our destroyers here in the front, which is great. This cruiser is a bit too aggressive for my taste. Now, I do have only one battleship down there, but quite a bit of firepower. And I don't really want to rush in their head on at the moment. I mean, we have the advantage here. We really want to kill those guys. And yeah, I probably should have been a little bit more aggressive. But I guess the turret layout of the Fuso really isn't that great for a just straightforward push. But I mean, in hindsight, I think I should have just pushed straight through this gen towards those guys. Now, I'm not sure why the Omaha is so aggressive. He should have enough range to stick here around with me. But yeah, I really also want to take out this Fuso. This Fuso is sailing broadside on, which allows me to put some good hits into him. And he is the most dangerous of those ships. And hey, the Fuso is gone. Oh, it's great. It's also great for my cruisers here, because they don't have to fear hit by a broadside of an enemy battleship. And yeah, at this point I could have just turned in here and I guess pushed a little bit harder. But I'm at a reasonable distance. That's 12 kilometers. Yeah, but I have ships in a reasonable range. Those ships also have torpedoes, although they are only 6 kilometers, so I could still get a little bit closer. At the moment, I don't have to worry about getting hit by an enemy battleship, and I can just sit here and dish out a lot of damage. Well, or I can just shoot into an island. Yes, that works. Now, Down here in the south, it's not looking that good. We've lost one destroyer. Still have this destroyer and this lone battleship who does his best to keep the enemy forces at bay, but they aren't really doing much with it. They aren't pushing. And, you know, we are still here around our cap circle and oh, very nice. Oh, there goes one of his cruisers and I have finally decided to get my move on. Now, I still think I could have. We've lost the second destroyer, which is kind of bad. Now we've lost our vision down there. This battleship, not sure how long he will be able to hold against those forces. But the enemies, they are still a long way from our cap. I mean, we are much closer to our own cap. We're also much closer to their cap. So we can defend, we can attack, still have all options open. And it would seem that those cruisers try to hide behind this island. And getting the hits that I want here. So at this point I've decided to just push here south. I mean, I expected this Königsberg to come around this islet and try to talk me. I was a bit cautious of that. But it seems he isn't interested in anything like that at this time. So now I decided to go here south towards their camp. And I don't really want to spend the time going all the way around here in this corner to hunt down these cruisers. It would seem other ships do that as well. And if I'm driving down here, I'll probably get shots at those guys anyway. Now maybe the Königsberg finally decided that I'm actually in torpedo range and that he might get a few torps in the water. But he is driving at the angle. I mean, yeah, if he would have driven around here showing his broadside, he probably died to my guns. He could have gotten his torpedoes off. Who knows what would have happened. And I fired a little bit too early, as I could have hit him a lot better otherwise. But I mean, those cruisers, they pretty much dead. Also seems to be a battle happening inside the enemy cap circle, and yay, one less cruiser. We just lost a cruiser down there. We still have a destroyer against 2 enemy destroyers. And 1 enemy destroyer down. And there is also a destroyer, so now when I'm going down here, I'm sailing into 2 enemy destroyers, which as a battleship isn't really that great. And when you look at the score, we are actually a little bit behind, but those 2 cruisers are trapped, so we should catch up pretty soon. And once again, my shots don't really do much. Now, surprisingly, I've been left alone from the enemy carrier so far. But then again, I was in the presence of quite a few cruisers for most time. It's also nice to see that our carrier decided to follow us around here, and the enemy carrier was spotted sometime earlier on going somewhere around here. So the carriers decided to stick with the team. I find it always nice if that happens. Now I still have a friendly destroyer here, which will provide me some vision and some support against the enemy destroyers, but there are still 2 enemy destroyers. Saw one come down here, and there he is. There is the other one. They are don't want to be caught between 2 enemy destroyers. Now thankfully this guy isn't coming in close for a torpedo run, he is staying at range. I mean, he's a US destroyer, he doesn't have the most amazing torpedo range. So he decides to just shoot me with his guns. But I mean, he isn't really doing much damage with it. Even though he fires a lot of shots. I only have to be concerned if he starts setting me on fire several times. But other than that, His Isokaze is much more dangerous at the moment, because he will come after me with torpedoes. And also notice I have switched to high explosive now. Now I'm most likely targets I'll be shooting next are 2 destroyers, so there is no reason to keep armor piercing loaded. And if I survive those 2 destroyers, then I will what to shoot next. Now, there is also an enemy battleship. And the way I'm sailing, I'm showing my broadside, which is nothing you ever wanna do. Not the best shots. And yes, this New York can now hurt me a lot. But here is the problem. I also have to be concerned about those torpedoes. And yeah, the New York starts hitting. I still really can't focus on the New York. I have to get rid of those destroyers first. And thankfully I can now angle somewhat against the torpedoes and the New York at the moment. And maybe I can take out one of the destroyers. Yeah. We're getting there. We're not there yet. Now I'm expecting torpedoes somewhat from this direction, so I'm trying to turn into those torpedoes. I don't want to sail broadside on in those, which exposes my broadside to the New York. So I'm pretty much screwed whatever I do. Question is, who am I scared more of, the torpedoes or the battleship? And yes, there are the torpedoes as expected. One still hits me because well, maybe I would have angled better. And I'm currently flooding. Now, there is this Isokaze is coming around here again. And I'm really afraid that he will just shoot torps here into my broadside. I wanna turn to avoid that, but that just means that that just means that I was presenting a prime target for the New York. I should have probably kept going towards the New York. Also, I mean, what I didn't know was that my team just killed this destroyer. So yeah, but hey, I'm still alive. Now I'm switching back to armor piercing, and at least this island provides some sort of protection. Because I don't think he can lob shells over this island just yet. The other destroyer is now engaged with one of our cruisers, and I really hope it will go down soon. I mean, he is at 29. He should go down soon. Now, this New York? I'm not sure. The way he's driving, he might sail straight into an island. And he's showing me his broadside now. His guns aren't pointing in my direction, which is good. He could hit me with a shot. So, let's just... yeah. Very nice. So, revenge was mine in the end, I guess. Now this destroyer got taken out, which is unsurprising. He had like 20 points. And only the enemy carrier is left. Oh, I mean, dive bombers could also pretty much be my demise at this point. But I've got my heal ready. I healed up a little. And yeah, all that's left is killing the carrier. And look at that, he is sailing broadside on. I mean, not that it really matters at this point, but it's very nice because it allows me to do things like this. And high caliber and Confederate. Always nice. What? Oh. Let's see, I'm almost reloaded. Maybe I can get the kill. And then I get him. Psych. Now let's take a quick look at the results. I got like 1800 base experience, which is pretty nice. I'm really happy with the result. I think my team played rather well. We had an overwhelming force in the north, maybe not so... would have maybe used a little more ships in the south, but the ships in the south did an amazing job in holding off the enemy. And the enemies just weren't really that aggressive. They played it rather cautiously and allowed us to sweep through the north and then come the middle and finish the job. So yeah, it was a very nice game. I had fun playing it. I hope you had fun watching it. And I see you guys next time.